a tendency to be attracted to the girls in the kindergarten class or whatever. This one girl in particular, I was like trying to protect her and whatever. It doesn't matter one way or the other. But, and this is where politicians can talk till they're blue in the face. Science will win out in the end. Right now, and as a scientist, I knew this 10 years ago, there's more and more mounting evidence in biology and in genetic, in developmental biology, in studies of gay people on a biological level, that there is a biological, and it's not a gene for it. It's not like if you have gay people and then they have a child, they're gay. Because my kids aren't gay, I don't think, at all. I mean, you can kind of tell, and they're not. And their father is gay and their mom is bisexual. So, and it happens like that. And studying gay studies are difficult because people lie too about their sexuality. So it's not like being born a black person. You're obviously a black person, or that kind of genetics. To say you're gay, it's kind of hard to study genetically because people lie or they'll cover up, and there's a lot of closeted gay people out there, so it makes it difficult to study gay. But there is mounting evidence that you are, and mounting evidence, I'm positive myself, but as more and more evidence comes to light that people are actually born that way. So it's kind of like saying, for something, you're kind of like punishing you for something that you're born into. You're born that way. It's not God who does this. And the more people who believe that, and as time marches forward, we're going to, 20 years from now, it's going to be well established, 50 years from now, that you're born that way. And that, of course, there's going to be gay people. 10% of the population is probably gay and will always be that way. And I have theories about that. But more important, so when I say politicians can't do anything, they can. They can argue and they can talk and they can do laws, but until science comes out definitively, and it will over the next few years, that you're born that way, then and you convince the general population, and it becomes general knowledge. The younger generation gets it, so that's why everybody who's opposed to gay marriage is over 40, or strongly opposed as you go up. So we just wait, and as science progresses and technology progresses, and we learn more about gay people, and we learn more about homosexuality, it's just going to be legalized, and the world isn't going to come to an end. And in fact, it's going to be the complete opposite, because I have a theory, and it's online, and this is where I'm controversial, that a lot of the hatred and a lot of the wars and a lot of stuff happens because of closeted gay people who are very self-loathing, and they hate themselves, and that's the worst kind of hatred. If you hate yourself, your hatred's going to spread. And there's nothing worse. Who hates themselves worse than somebody who is gay and made to feel ashamed of it? The core of your body, the core of your existence is your sexuality. I mean, you're 12, even before you reach puberty, you're a man, or you're still, sexuality is still taking some role. You're still looking at gender, you're looking at your mom and your dad, you're looking at the culture, and you're attracted to, even as 7 and 8, really, you're starting to get a little bit curious about the opposite sex or the same, whatever you're interested in. Little 7 or 8 year olds, my son is like, when he was 7, he was having a crush on a girl every year. You can tell he has little crushes on the girls. So, you can tell he does. He's going to be he's going to have crushes. He's going to have a broken heart, this guy, because he constantly has crushes on the girls. And my daughter kind of does too, on boys. She likes, well, she's not quite as open about it, but she can tell she has crushes on some of the boys. She's more practical. So sexuality is a big part of your core humanity. And if you're ashamed of that, that's worse than being ashamed of being black or being a certain religion, whatever that is. That's worse. So if you're ashamed of these things, or if you're being discriminated against, so imagine somebody, a closeted gay man, and this is why I think I have evidence, I've looked up the history of Hitler. I think he was a closeted gay man, a very angry, jealous, hateful, because he hated himself more than anything. That level of hatred, that's huge. And the source of it is huge, and I think the source of it was he was a closeted, self-loathing, angry gay man. He would allow his dogs in his bed, but he never let Ava Brown sleep in his bed with him, ever. His dogs were allowed. That's just so typical angry gay man. And a lot of the stuff he did, when he was in jail, he was allowed private visits with top other military men, and those were I think those were little sexual sessions, military men. So anyway, now I'm boring you to death. So my big theory at the age of 47, after being married to a gay man for a long time, I had children with him, being in the gay culture, I never really did that until my 30s, but just after everything I've been through, it's like, oh my gosh, here is the unifying, it's almost like E equals MC squared for social justice. Why would you, I mean, if people knew, and for sure, and I'm pretty sure this is true, that one way to wipe out a major source of hatred in the world is just to accept gay people, so that we're not making a bunch of little Hitlers and little military men that want to blow up everything and fight with everybody. I mean, that's why I say if you have, and all sorts of problems will be solved once that happens, because it's just a trickle-down theory. You know, legalize gay marriage, accept homosexuality. The science will help do this, because it will show that people are born this way. And once they become more acceptable, you make less and less self-loathing, and these people are very aggressive. These jealous and angry closeted gay men, they are extremely aggressive and persistent, and I'm married, and I was married to one. And it's incredible the level and depth of it. They are very misogynistic, sexist, they're very racist, and they're very manipulative. They're very good. Now, what you want is that kind of talent applied in a positive way, like in Hollywood when they're making movies and very dramatic and they're very in touch and they can manipulate people in a good way. They know how people work and they know how people function and they know how to control and you know, it just takes one gay man to control thousands of non-gay men. You know, and that's how the military works. I think a lot of militaries are, you know, no gays in the military is a joke, because most of them are the most talented military men and the most talented, you know, dictators in history are probably all closeted gay men. They're very talented and they have a very, they're just very talented. And I think it's in their genes or something, the gay man gene. Anyway, so that's why I'm a big proponent of gay marriage online. And I'm just telling you, I'm just being very honest about all this stuff, because when you say, what do you do for your hobby? It's very hard for me to mention that without saying, this is what I do. I get online and I say my observations and I say why I support certain things and my theories behind them. And the thing about the truth, and the thing about honesty and the truth is, you know, for a lie to be believed, it has to be repeated over and over and over. You just have to keep repeating it. And that's what, you know, one of the theories and one of the methods that the Nazis used, actually. Goebbels and all those guys, they're very good at media manipulation. They just keep repeating a lie. And if you repeat it enough, people will start to believe it. And that's all they did. And this is what Dykes Young, the guy I'm married to, does. He goes to the police and he just keeps repeating the same lie, and they come and have me arrested. You know, just based on lies, because he's very convincing. And I'm just like, gosh, this is how the Holocaust happened. I mean, I also have a lot of faith. I mean, I was raised a Catholic. I went to church every Sunday. And I have a lot of faith. Now, not right now. I don't, you know, the whole, you know, I'm not talking about God. I have faith in a higher power. And something's going on that's bigger than I am. And it just makes a huge difference in life that I'm going through all these things, because for a reason, you know, I'm learning, and I think I'm in the right place at the right time to reveal all this stuff. Trucker by day, saving the world by night. So I always say I save the world with my online commenting and everything like that. But being a trucker is perfect for that, because I can think about stuff all day. I listen to the radio. I can blog all day long while I'm getting paid, and I love to drive, and it just clears your mind and it lets you think about big things in life and big theories, like the theory on fuel efficiency. I mean, that stuff is, I'm telling you, and the way you do it, by the way, as I said, is you don't talk about it, you show it. Like, I have a theory about fuel efficiency, fine. just put your money where your mouth is. So I've been 8.0 or higher for the last 3 months now, 3 or 4 months, top 3 out of 400 drivers. As I said, 400 or 500 drivers at Pride, and I'm top 3 for the last 3 months. How do you do it? Well, I just said, push all the weight to the front, and that'll do it. You know, that's my theory, and I'm sticking with it. That's all I'm doing, and I'm beating the hell out of everybody with heavy loads and with everything. That's all I do. Keep the tire pressures up. Slow down to 57. That'll give you 7.5, 7.8. 8.3 as I got last month. What you need for that is the extra added thing of shifting all your weight to your steers. And so what? It's just a theory. But you know what? I just keep driving, and I just keep getting top things, and maybe I'm wrong, but whatever. I mean, I'm telling them what I'm doing. If you want 8.0s, I'm telling you what I'm doing. It's very simple. You know, and yeah, I don't turn the heat on, but I'm telling you that the biggest difference is shifting things to the front. All this other stuff people know, but the new thing that nobody tells you is to shift the weights to the steers and the drives. And it's because I'm a woman and I observe, and more women come in, and I'm just going to make it better. But the guys don't believe it's going to be 50 years before the trucking industry sort of catches on to this. And even in California, you know, I'm about ready to come into California, and I'm telling you, I already have a ticket for my tandems that I'm going to fight in September. I did it on purpose. In order to shift all your weight to the front, you have to move your tandems to the back. Okay? And right now, I am illegal for California on my tandems. I'm in Nevada right now, but I'm not moving my tandems. As soon as I move my tandems forward, it shifts most of my load to my tandems, and then my fuel efficiency goes into the toilet. So I really don't understand the law in California that makes you shift your tandems forward. It wastes fuel, it makes smog, it makes pollution, and it wastes gas. And you know, I put online this theory that, you know, these guys who run the environmental clubs, there's no way they could compete with big oil, money-wise. I mean, they're going door to door, getting $5 from a person, and, you know, I remember knocking at the door, "Hi, I'm with the Sierra Club, can I have $5? There's no way that kind of money can compete with billions of dollars that the oil industry brings in. Okay, so where is the environmentalists? Well, the environmentalists are just this branch of big oil. I mean, the environmentalists are the ones who made this law in California with the tandems. I don't know what the argument is. I don't get it. Why is there a law in California making you move your tandems forward? It wastes fuel. Well, I'll tell you why. Because big oil knows this, and they would love people to use more. They would love truckers to use more fuel, while the environmentalists think they're not. I mean, it's just that's what happens in California. It's so stupid. So I purposely put my tandems back, and I was already stopped by CHP last month. I didn't tell my trucking company this. Don't tell them this. And the CHP said, you know, your tandems are blah blah blah. I'm gonna write you a ticket. I said, I am not gonna fight